Can you introduce our
Energy, energy, energy.
Can you introduce our last quickfire
Oh my
topic?
god, I don't know what it is.
Neither do I. I was hoping you would remember. Ah, yes, yes. Horror story. It
I've
was a horror
remembered.
story. Yeah. Let me
I remembered. It's a horror story.
read it out. This came to our attention because someone tagged our episode 86, which was "Should I Stay or Should I Go?"
Oh, yeah.
So okay, I'll read the story out and start the timer. Okay, I've chosen to break off all contact with my former PI and will never ask them for a letter of reference. But labs I've applied for have insisted on talking to my former PI anyway, even though I explained they are a dishonest person. Explaining my situation by stating negative but truthful things that my former PI did just sounds bad, and there is no guarantee that requests for confidentiality will be honoured. But refusing to disclose information makes it seem like I have something to hide. Obviously, having other letters of reference that are positive is very important, but I feel lost in how to handle this situation in my application. Wow, let's get this. Let's
Dan,
get the
don't start the timer yet. Can we put this out as a web special or something? Because when we have a lot of people on this Patreon who, it's a negligible cost for them, and there's this answer to this on reflection has a lot of utility for younger researchers who may not necessarily be literally signing up for the Professor Fancy Pants category.
I will
I don't think
post.
I've ever asked you to do this before, but let's stick this one out
I'm
as
going to
a.
stick this video clip out publicly for everyone. There it
Okay.
is.
Have you got your 5 minutes on?
I got my 5 minutes on.
Okay, let's fuck it up. Um, Good man. There's a few things. There's a few things that are possible here. This is the fucking letter trap. No, if you're mean to me, I won't write you a letter of reference. If you refuse to fucking do it my way, I won't write you a letter of reference. If you don't work Sunday, I won't write you the letter. Um, I know people that this has happened to as a on kind of a threat basis. I wouldn't write you the fucking letter. Okay, for anyone who doesn't want to get into this situation in the first place, it is important that you work with other people who are senior, your immediate supervisor, postdoc, research scientist, like someone else who's closely affiliated, so you've got other options when it comes to asking people to say whether or not you fancy in the first place. Yeah? It's not just a matter of like, I work for them, and if they don't love me, I am shit. You really want to avoid that scenario, because what happens when you work for a total asshole,
You're stuck.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and also because they're going to use that shit as leverage, or even if they're not a total asshole, even if they're a partial asshole, an arslet, if you will, right? They can triage that shit until so time as you send them something, something, something. Yeah. So you've gone for 2 months. You're like, when are you going to send me that reference? And they write back to you like, when are you going to send me that data or that paper that you're not working on
Yep.
anymore? So I mean, it can be used as leverage. It's a power move, even for people who aren't normally dicks. If your working relationship breaks down because you have a clash of personalities or bad circumstances, or they run out of money, or they've got a sick kid, or whatever the fuck ever it is. You want to make sure your options are open for being able to pursue things like that in the first place. Next thing, yes, good thing if you've got other positive letters of reference. If you can get into one of those fucking letters the fact that this is the scenario in the first place, not to say, hey, Professor B, do you mind writing me a letter about how I'm great and also how a Professor A can go fuck himself? That's not the way to pursue it. As much as could you provide an accurate reflection on this particular situation, maybe even state I've been asked because of these particular circumstances to do this thing. I feel like it's appropriate. This is like wouldn't be an accurate reflection on their work, if etc. etc. If you've got a good working relationship with someone, there's a diplomatic way to handle putting that into language, right? Where you get someone else to co-sign the fact that everything totally went to shit here. The third thing is I don't know if there's any formal options for being able to compel this in people. I think this is one of those irritating human situations. So I guess this is more advice for other people, like in the interim, because if this happens, you may not have any recourse. You can't go to the head of the department or something and go, "Hey, it didn't write me no letter." That feels like a something that's determined entirely by the two of you. And if they don't like you and everything's all fucked up, then uh,
Yeah.
you're right in the cold. Um, Also, in this situation in particular, it gives me the shits to think that there's labs out there somewhere that goes, no, if you don't have the special letter, it doesn't count. Go fuck yourself. I mean, they're going between grad degrees or into a postdoc or something like that. fuck man, how important can it be? Look at what they've published, look at what they know, look at what they can do, look at what they bring to the fucking table, and not how did one person that you previously worked with, especially you're telling us they're a dick. How did they reflect on your work process in particular? Like there's no bad PIs in the world, and that's the only method of authority they can get into. Okay, your turn.
Burn the whole system down.
You
I
nasty iconoclast.
I am I'm horrified that letters of reference have so much sway, particularly it seems in the American system, that
Oh
PIs
yeah.
PIs can actually hold this threat like the sword of Damocles above them, going like you said, if you don't do this, if you don't do that, then you're not going to get a good letter. Quite often, this is almost never said explicitly, but implicitly, this is what happens. And look, looking at letters of reference, I don't think they are useful because 99% of them are going to be glowing references. So, in order to actually have something useful, you want something that's going to differentiate a good candidate from a not so good candidate. But if every single candidate is having these glowing letters of references, which, mind you, the candidate probably wrote themselves, gave it to the PI going, can you sign off this thing? Sure. Then what use are these letters?
Well, yeah, it's a dumb idea in the first place, Dan. You're not helping the person who's in this particular situation in the first place. And we're asking for practical advice. But obviously, I agree with the vast majority of that, except perhaps with less burning than usual.
Yeah, look,
Um,
the situation at hand.
try and find a lab who doesn't put dumb shit on a pedestal. That is done. That.
Yeah, but I do
It's
like this
pretty
idea.
reasonable.
I think
Hope it's possible.
having associate supervisors is a good idea for a number of reasons. Firstly, for different points of view for expertise, but also for this very reason. So, but look, this is a very very hard situation. Hard situation. There it
And they're
is.
playing our song.
They are playing. They are playing us out.